Sure.
May as well.
We're live.
All right. What's up, metalheads? We promised you a new show today. Here we are to bring it to you. And well, I'm not really your host because it's a full panel today. We're not doing trivia tonight. Now we're doing something different, something we've called Full Metal 5. Basically, this is our version of a top 5 show. Our panel, first of all, going from my left, we have our resident loudmouth, our resident baddie, Alex Omega Warden. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? We are here tonight to talk about something that I unfortunately know a lot about, and you'll know about what that is in just a couple of minutes.
Totally. And also joining us, we haven't seen him in a minute, but he's back. We got the Red Ranger, RJ, man. What's up?
Nothing much. Not wearing any red today. Just for the theme of our show, and if you haven't told yet, by Chance's shirt or my hat, we'll be revealing it soon anyways.
Yeah. Also, our resident line producer, the Canadian Nightmare, and our master of porgs, Mark Borick.
What up, everyone? And of course, go Patriots, go JT on Friday. I need you to win.
Yeah, you do.
And joining us today, a special guest, not part of our admin team. We got, you may recognize him from There'll Be Trivia. We got Henry Confidential, Henry Sanchez. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? This one's gonna be a fun one because A, it's a new medium, and then B, it's a my opinions on some of this stuff is going to be interesting.
We started this because, you know, above all else, we're movie fans. We like talking about movies. It's how we all came together. And of course, being DC week, we thought how to best honor a brand than by looking at the worst it has to offer. That's right. Tonight we are doing the top 5 based on DC Comics, which there's a lot to go into in this list. So
that there is.
Here's how it's gonna work. To start this, we're going in 3 different selecting processes. First one, we're each going to nominate a film, get a top 7. For a movie to qualify, it's going to have to get not 2/3 majority because there's 5 of us. It's going to have to get a majority vote. So say I nominate a film. If 2 of these guys elect to ratify it, top 7. It'll make sense as we go. So I will start us off. The first movie I want to nominate, one that should be on everyone's list, except for maybe Henry, because I know he hasn't seen it. But it is 2004's Catwoman. This film is an offense to all 5 senses, and I cannot stand it, but we'll get more to that later. So we'll go to Mark first. Mark, does Catwoman make the top 7?
In my opinion, yes, it does. It is a terrible movie. I thought nothing makes sense. Really has nothing to do with the DC character, except for the name, pretty much. Other than that, it's probably up there for one of the worst movies ever.
Absolutely. And we'll go to Alex next. Alex, does Catwoman make the top 7?
As you said, it offends all 5 senses. It also offends 3 you didn't know you had. So yes, that is in the top 7.
All right, so Catwoman's ratified. It makes top 7. RJ, Henry, what would you have said? Would Catwoman have made the list?
Absolutely.
I would have said no because I just feel like I wouldn't qualify it as a DC movie since, like you said, it doesn't really mess with the character. They changed the first name of the character, and if it didn't have Catwoman as a title, it would just be some girl in a cat suit. So I would say no just because to be a little different. But yeah, I understand why it's on there.
On DC Comics, although it has very little to do with said DC Comics, but we're counting it anyways.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't count. I would just want to be different. That's all.
Get you. All right, so let's go, Mr. Different. Henry, you take. What's your movie you want to nominate?
I will keep my big hitters for later. I'll pick one that I definitely feel like should be up there for a lot of people. I'm gonna go Green Lantern.
Oh, that's a good one. I will ratify that one. It's an awful movie. I remember I saw that right before I saw Thor, which made that look like practically Shakespeare. So yeah, I give Green Lantern the good, the okay. We'll go to RJ since your vote didn't count last time.
I'm just gonna throw this out there right now. Green Lantern is my favorite DC hero.
Are you serious? Oh, okay. That's just not
the movie yet. Not the movie yet. But Green Lantern is my favorite hero. With that being said, I also have to ratify this, even if it doesn't make the top 5. Like, I did not hate the movie like everyone else does, but it did burn the chances of a solid start to a DC universe. And I guess we'll get into more of that later. It at least needs to be in consideration for worse. Yep. So I'm definitely going to ratify it as well.
Yep,
I agree. Right, Alex, Mark, would you have ratified it?
Oh yeah, I agree.
I agree with everyone else, without a doubt.
All right, so Green Lantern makes the list. So Alex hasn't got much to talk, so we'll let you nominate the next film.
All right. I'm going to go right into it. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, a movie that squandered so much goodwill Christopher Reeve built up over the first 2 films and tried to save in the third. This is just ridiculous. This didn't need to be made. Like, it's got to be in the top 5 worst anything, let alone top 5 worst movies. I'd put it as a top 5 worst sandwich. So, yes, it needs to be in the top 5 worst movies.
What?
So, the movie on the table is Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Mark, did your vote didn't count last time?
Yeah, for Superman 4, without a doubt. The Quest for Peace. This storyline, oh, God, it gave me a headache. Let's just say that.
And Henry?
I'll say no, similar to the Catwoman, just because it's so stupid and over the top and silly that I feel like there's more well-made movies that are just bad. So I would say that a lot of these bottom tier, over the top, goofy ones kind of cancel each other out. So I kind of want to save some of the spots for more of the well-made movies that just aren't good.
Okay, I think I see your point. So let's go to RJ first, and I'll abstain.
I'm gonna have to leave this voice to chance because I'm gonna have to say no because I've never seen it.
Ooh.
The only Superman movie I've even relatively seen is Superman 2.
Oh, really?
I have not seen any of the other Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and even number 2, I haven't seen in its entirety.
I'm similar to RJ, except I've only seen the first one. Just from what I've heard about it, 4's over the top.
So, Chance, do you think it should be on the worst list?
It should, but I think Henry has a point in that there's so many movies that, and we're going full campy. There's one movie I think deserves to be on this list more than Superman 4.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm shutting it down. Superman 4 does not make the list.
Oh!
As much as I hate the Great Wall of China fixing laser beam eyes, we're not letting that in.
Oh, God.
That's a value heroic thing. Come on.
All right,
John
so
RJ,
RJ.
his nephew Lenny.
Yeah. Oh God. All right, RJ, you get to nominate the next film.
Well, speaking of campy, I'm throwing it under the bus already. I'm throwing in Steel. Shaq should have never been an actor in the 90s, and he should have never been a superhero. That costume was atrocious. He looked like, I don't even know how to explain it. He looked like the robot from Star Kid. And if you don't know what that movie is, you didn't grow up in the 90s. But he looked like that. And just Shaq as a serious actor, he's actually really funny when he cameos in Adam Sandler's movies. But as a serious actor, as supposed to be the hero, absolutely not. I couldn't take him seriously. And I love the character of Steel. I loved him in the Justice League cartoon, and that movie ruins everything about it. That movie definitely deserves to be on this list.
Okay, so all right, let's go to Alex next. Alex?
Honestly, yeah, I got to agree. This was bad. It proved you don't stunt cast an athlete as a superhero. You know, why do people think that was a good idea? Let alone Shaq. No, it's got to be in the top 7.
We'll go to Mark.
I'm going to have to refrain from answering this because, I know about it. I've seen bits and pieces. I've yet to see the full movie. So I'm going to step away from this one.
I feel like, Henry, you haven't seen Steel, but I know what you're going to say to this.
It's one of the, I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard about it, I'm also going to refrain. But if it's on there, I wouldn't be mad from everything I have heard about it, just because of what RJ said. If he did play a part in the Justice League series, that I'd feel like that's more disrespectful than Catwoman. So yeah, I'd be okay with Steel being on there.
Yeah, I have seen Steel, and yeah, I'm gonna ratify. Steel is awful. I know we're kind of ignoring like the campy movies, but it's really bad. So yeah, Steel make the top 7. All right, Mark, you're the one that has nominated a film. So what do you got?
Okay, let's go with one of the two movies that came out in the mid '90s.
I know where you're going with this.
Go with Batman and Robin.
I knew you were going with this.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a kid, I did enjoy, because I was a kid. And I did enjoy the two movies, but just like when it comes to Batman and Robin, it is without a doubt probably one of the worst superhero movies, and just like the camp value, the sponsorships, the ploy for give us money, and just like George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, campiness for it was just Mr. Freeze did not need to be so campy. Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. It just like that was just stereotypical plant lady. Bane.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote yes on Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, it killed the Batman franchise. So we'd be remiss if we ignored that. So I'm saying yes to Batman and Robin making the list. Henry.
So to counteract what you just said, you said it killed the Batman franchise, so it deserved to be on there. I'm going to go the opposite and say without that movie, we wouldn't have had the exact 180 in Batman Begins. So I'm going to leave it off. That it is a masterpiece in its own sense of how bad it is that it's created Nolan's trilogy. So I'm going to say no. Plus, it's a good get drunk with your friends and have a stupid fun time movie. So, I mean, it has a quality in that sense. So I'm going to say no.
Just to rectify between the two movies that I was talking about, as everyone knows, I feel like I can get more drunk enjoying Jim Carrey and just Tommy Lee Jones attempt into one of the other than Batman and Robin. So just to counteract that.
All right. We'll go to RJ next. RJ, does Batman and Robin make the top 7?
Yeah, it does. The only one I will defend is like the people over at Schmoes Bros hate me for this, and I'll admit it to you guys too. I've never seen Michael Keaton's Batman's all the way through.
Oh my God!
So you have to understand, I was born in '92. So when I came of age, Batman and Robin was the first Batman movie to come out. So that's what I was introduced to first. And yes, it has problems after I revisit it, but I love it. But I can even admit that Batman and Robin is terrible. Batman Forever, I will defend. Batman and Robin, I will throw it under the bus. There's way too much cat. There's way too much campiness. Way too many ice puns. George Clooney should not have been Batman.
All right, so that means Batman and Robin passes. Alex, what would you have said?
I actually would have agreed with Henry. I wouldn't have put it up.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Plus, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze is just hilarious.
That's just it. If you go back and watch the movie,
it's a comedy.
If you go back and watch it and you think of it as a big screen adaptation of the Adam West TV series, Batman and Robin is freaking awesome.
On par. It's on par.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's an updated '60s movie.
I take that movie more seriously than Batman and Robin, but hey, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in the next round. Turn to nominated film again, and I can't avoid this. I'm putting up Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Movie that I thought was okay when I first saw it. I also saw this at midnight on the opening day. But the more I thought about it, and on the second rewatch, this movie fails on nearly every level. It has a few bright spots, but I cannot. It is an absolutely just terrible movie. Yeah, I'm putting up Suicide Squad. Let's go to Alex since your vote didn't count last time.
Yeah, I'm putting it up too. It failed in so many different ways of being a good adaptation, and it single-handedly set back every expectation of fans of the DCEU up until Wonder Woman thankfully saved it earlier this summer. It's got to be on the worst list. It has to be there.
I'll go to Henry next. Henry?
I agree, because like I was saying earlier, it's a competently made film, and it's over the topness is more the sense of style and tone, and it's the music video-esque of it, and it has great actors in it doing a competent job. Viola Davis, Will Smith, Margot Robbie, like they do a good job, but just the story-wise, it's probably one of the worst stories that you can tell that they're trying, and that's a shame, because he has the good actors and it looks good, but yeah, I don't like it.
All right, so it makes the cut. Mark, RJ, would you have said any different?
Actually, I would have. I don't think it's as bad as other movies that could be in the top 5. I understand we're getting to 7 first, but I don't think it should even be in consideration for worst. Like, I can go back and watch Suicide Squad. I find it entertaining enough. I understand the problems with it, but just knowing everything that happened behind the scenes to it, that's why I forgive it.
Oh yeah, speaking of 7, there's 7 different cuts of this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, and Mark, what would you have said?
There's some parts of it I didn't like. I did not like the opening 15-minute different music videos to introduce the characters. There were some bright spots. I wasn't a fan of the Joker though. There were some bright spots, just but the low points. There were some really, really bad low points. And so I like to do that stupid little dance that Enchantress does. It's just oh my god! It's just
the brother. It's not explained. It makes no sense. Yeah.
I know. It was. I literally in the theater when I watched it was out of nowhere I just yelled, "What the hell is she doing?" And it just
that was
the movie for me big time.
And the extended cut of that movie is even worse. Like those deleted scenes, they're deleted for a reason. Like
it's so bad. Is that a Batman v Superman where they recut it and made it make more sense? Yeah. This is just bad.
Yep.
It makes the top 7. So we have 2 more spots. As of right now, we have Lantern, Steel, Batman and Robin, and Suicide Squad. We will go to Henry to nominate the next film.
I'm between 2 right now that I want to talk about that I hate. Well, one I hate, and one I feel like it's beloved too much, and it shouldn't be. So I want to talk about that one first. Batman Returns. It's not a popular vote. I understand.
Really?
I hate Catwoman in that one. It makes no sense. She dies and is reincarnated by cats licking her. It's weird. Danny DeVito is over the top. He's abducting children and he's so creepy and he's punching women in the face or biting their noses off or whatever he did, and it just gets away with it and it's really not talked about and makes no sense. There's only one scene in that movie that I feel like this is one of this and another movie I want to talk about that I won't say later, but there's 2 scenes in movies that I hate so much that are actually really good scenes, and it's the moment where Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle realize where they say, should we fight now? What do we do? That's awesome. But everything around it, it's I don't know. It's the cartoony, the carnival. I don't like it. And I was expecting, I was going in expecting to like it. And that bothers me even more that I hated it. And I was supposed to really love it. So for me personally, not a fan.
I will defend one part of that movie. The part of the scene where he's driving down a tunnel. I think he gets chased by missiles or something. And he outruns the missiles, and then he looks back. He's like, "Holy shit, my life is awesome!"
Oh yeah,
that was really cool.
Penguin controls his Batmobile and all that stuff. There's just so much. It's if you're trying to go a realistic vibe to it, you can't go so over the top. And the tone was just all over the place for me, and I'm a fan.
Okay, that's fair. Let's go to Alex first. Alex, what do you think, man?
I am just narrowly going to say no to this one. I totally agree with everything Henry said. For me, though, what redeems this film is if you think of it as a Tim Burton movie first, following up on his Batman film, it's Tim Burton to the core. And Tim Burton up until Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you can't go wrong with his filmography. At the same time, you do get a great portrayal of Catwoman by Michelle Pfeiffer. Her origin's not correct, but she's still amazing in the movie. And really, you've just got a solid, fun popcorn flick that just happens to go. Yes, that happens too. Again, it's not true to the character, but it's still a fun movie. You just get a solid popcorn flick that just happens to have a little bit of darkness in it. So it's Tim Burton to the core making a summer blockbuster. I got pretty much what I expected. Every time I rewatch it, I get what I expect.
True testament to the fact that Tim Burton's never read a Batman comic in his entire life. All right, so RJ, what say you?
I'm actually going to have to agree with Alex. Same basis about it being a Tim Burton film. As a Tim Burton film, you can't go wrong with it. And like I said, I haven't seen it in its entirety. But what I have seen for what it is, I found it enjoyable. And you can complain about her origin all you want, but you haven't seen Halle Berry's Catwoman. And it's just as dumb.
I think dumber, but hey,
a
Henry,
little
it
bit
could still
dumber,
pass.
because then they try to explain it.
The cat gods.
They try to give it like a mysticism to it, but we'll get into that later.
I would respect that more. At least they tried. I would rather you say that, hey, this happened and it makes no sense and it's dumb, than let's not even touch on it. I got cats licking me to death and I'm alive.
No, you say that now and then you hear the explanation and you're just like, no.
It could still pass. Mark, what do you say? Did Batman Returns make the top 7 worst list?
Top 7 worst? I unfortunately I agree with a lot of what Henry said. I also agree with what a lot of Alex said, except for Tim Burton also did Planet of the Apes, and that movie sucked. But it just
that's fair.
Is the Batman Returns the top 7 worst? I have to disagree. I don't think so. Might make
like
the top
Hulk
10.
and Ragnarok.
It'd probably make the top 10 for me, but not top 7.
All right, I'll accept that then. Top 10. That even warms my heart.
All right, yeah. I think I don't think I would have voted it either. I do. Yes, as a Batman movie, Batman Returns is horrible, but as a Tim Burton movie, I do find myself enjoying quite a bit of it. It's the last movie we've had Billy D. Williams as a Harvey Dent until the Lego Batman movie, so hey, that's always a plus. I wouldn't give it the vote. So give us your next one.
All right. Going through my list, we've already hit most of the big ones on mine, but I got to go with Supergirl. That was
Supergirl?
Yeah. 1984 Supergirl. That was just the Salkines who were producing those movies, just trying to keep the license and keep it alive. And boy, does it show. They did not care about anything when making this movie. They recycled effects from the other films. They didn't care about who they cast. The villain is over the top in all the bad ways. Helen Slater looks like she's out of her league playing a superhero. And the only character from the original Superman films they keep is Jimmy Olsen, who all of a sudden becomes her love interest out of nowhere, and it's just an aw shucks romance. This movie makes no sense at points. And when it does try to make sense, you're just like, boring. When can we see her punching things? It's got to be in the worst list.
You know, I almost forgot about Supergirl until you just reminded me, and I was reminded how much it sucks. I'll agree with you. Supergirl should absolutely make the top 7. RJ next.
Well, hopefully this makes the list, or we pick 2 more, because this is the only one I got left to suggest after what we've talked about. And that's Jonah Hex.
Wait, RJ, we're voting on Supergirl. We're voting on Supergirl.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I got
Spoiler alert.
Well, already know what he's picking next.
Yep.
All right, so, but Supergirl. Do you vote Supergirl?
Never seen it. So I would continue on, I have to say.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted. There's a family emergency going on.
Henry?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either, but from what I've heard, I feel like the fact that nobody talks about it, it's more of a forgettable movie than a terrible movie. So let's not put it in the bottom tier, yes, but not the bottom. Just because nobody talks about it.
And with me, I have to agree with Henry. Like, I've not seen it. I've barely even heard of it until I started doing trivia. So I'm sorry.
All right. Well, it's split, so we can't put it on yet. So we can't put Supergirl on much as we really probably should. So let's go to RJ. Well, we already know what RJ's is, but let's talk about it. Talk about Jonah Hex.
Yeah. Just another one about a superhero that I was really interested in. I had heard about like what his whole thing was and how he was, and it was cool because it was one of those like, yeah, he had like some kind of supernatural aspect to him, but he wasn't necessarily a superhero. He was like some cool Western gunslinger, and I thought that was cool. And then they started casting it, and it was like, hey, Josh Brolin's gonna be him. Hey, that's cool. And then they put Megan Fox in it. And I was already like, this is going to suck. And it did. It just ruined the character for me. I really wanted it to be good. It was terrible. And because I was even looking this up to make sure I wasn't wrong, that thing only made $10 million on a $47 million budget. So it was made for shit, and it made less shit.
Yeah, that is true. All right, we'll go to let's go to Henry first. Henry.
This would be the type of movie where, like, if we're having some sort of movie debate, I feel like you could probably sway the judge into saying that this deserves to be in the bottom. But because similar to Supergirl, nobody talks about it, it's more of a forgettable throwaway. I'd say it's similar to Constantine, where they made me get enough right, but not enough wrong, to where it's, middle of the road, whatever. It's not disrespectful, and it's not a travesty to film fans. I'll say no for now.
I'm gonna disagree. I think Jonah Hex is awful. So yeah, you asked me, it makes it on the 7. Let's go to Mark.
Alex? Okay, me. Sorry. You
Yeah.
cut out there. Unfortunately, once again, I'm going to have to. I've yet to see this movie, so I'm going.
Okay, so you're gonna sit out. Alex, what say you?
I'm going to vote to put it in, not only with everything RJ said. Megan Fox aside, it does waste a lot of other good actors, particularly Josh Brolin as Jonah Hex and Michael Fassbender. He's in this movie as one of the villains, and he's completely wasted. And
John Malkovich.
Yeah, the talent.
He's a great villain.
John Malkovich, that's right.
The talent behind the movie should have at least made a serviceable Western that has supernatural elements. But I don't know what they were thinking in the writing and scripting of this movie. It's got to be in the bottom tier. It is in this lowest tier of the bottom 7.
All right. So, Jonah Hex makes it top 7. All right. And Mark, you have anything else you want to throw up?
Honorable mentions, just for how much I really, really hate Batman v Superman, especially Lex Luthor.
Ooh. That's a good one, actually.
That movie. Oh my God, Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor.
Yeah. If we go with the caveat that we're talking the theatrical released film, I'd agree with this. The extended cut, where they flesh out the narrative, it saves the movie. It makes it a coherent film.
I literally just watched it a couple hours ago to prepare for Justice League, and it's not bad. It's not great, and it has a lot of flaws, but if you go the extended cut and take into account that you're forcing yourself to watch a 3-hour movie, and remember that, so you knock it down a little bit, it still is not that bad. And it's definitely
We're talking theatrical cut.
If we're talking theatrical cut, I still won't put it in the bottom 7 compared to the rest, because there's still a few where there's a lot of redeemable moments, and the fight is still great, and the acting is still great. So I mean, and the dialogue is even great. Like, there's no cheesy moments and over the top moments. I mean, Jesse Eisenberg, you have to understand, he's Lex Jr. Like, I'm okay with it. He's Lex Jr. He's building up the character. It's character development. He's building up that he's a spoiled brat and that he's gradually getting insane, which at the end, that's great. Ding, 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 ding. I'm cool with it.
All right. In the wrestling business, there's this thing called Xbox heat, which go away heat. Jesse Eisenberg, I came so close to walking out of the theater because of his terrible overacting.
Well, here's one thing that might save it, and I don't, we don't know if this is going to happen, but if Jesse Eisenberg's over-the-top performance in Batman v Superman gets us a good portrayal, live action of Arkham Asylum, I'm cool with that, because that's what he's building toward, being so over-the-top and being so crazy that he's not mentally ill into a regular, mental hospital. He's in Arkham Asylum. If that gets us a good Arkham Asylum, I'm okay with that too. So just that hope.
So we got to know from. Okay, we're going to voting. We got to know from Henry, and we'll go to RJ first. RJ, what would you say?
Nope. Sorry. I will.
I like it.
No joke. I will defend Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor. I will defend it. I do not think it is as bad as everyone says it is. I actually enjoyed it, and I appreciated it for what it was. I'll go to movie Battlegrounds over his portrayal.
Yep.
I really will.
That's fine.
Does not just on that fact alone does not make BVS deserve to be in a top 5 worst list at all.
Plus, it brought us Wonder Woman. It got us Ben Affleck. It's got way more good than it does bad, especially in comparison to some of these others.
All right, and we'll go Alex next. Alex, what would you say?
Again, even if we're just going on the theatrical cut, I'm going to say no, because this movie did give us exactly what it said it would. Batman versus Superman and the dawn of the Justice League. So Ben Affleck is fucking awesome in this movie as Batman. he might actually be in my top. He is in my top 3 live action Batman actors. This movie gave us that. I can't fault it for that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, Mark.
I think we were talking most disappointing movies. I would have said yes to. I would have said yes to BBS, but if we're going worst, I can't. As much as I don't like BBS, I can't put it in this tier. So I'd also say no. To come full circle back to me, really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Part of me wishes we had actually put in Superman 4. But speaking of Superman, I'm putting up Superman 3. As bad as Superman 4 was, Superman 3 was the beginning of the decline of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. It's like part slapstick. The plot is utterly forgettable. Yes, there's a good moment in the junkyard with Clark Kent and Superman, but it's not enough to say this movie as a whole. Richard Pryor, I love Richard Pryor as a comedian, but in this movie, he sometimes bugs the crap out of me. So, yeah, I'm saying Superman 3. Alex.
You know what? I actually am going to agree with this one. Superman 3 and Superman 4, the combination of them really is what killed the Christopher Reeve franchise. As you pointed out, it started the decline. The misuse of the characters, the fact that they had such an easy out to introduce Brainiac in an 80s film with that damn supercomputer, and they just couldn't go that extra mile. The villain's playing an Atari game to try and pin down Superman by killing him with missiles. And this split of Superman, when he splits into 2 and has to fight himself as Clark Kent, like, who came up with this shit? I know the 80s were all filled with cocaine, but come on. Yes, it goes on the list.
Okay, so we have 2 votes. We only want one more vote to ratify it. Henry.
I haven't seen it, but just describing what you're saying, it sounds like it either is dumb fun or it's not as bad. It's not
dumb fun. Trust me.
It's not.
Yeah. So I mean, this is one where I'm not going to put a vote in there, but if you guys put on there, I wouldn't be mad. I just want to talk about one of the ones I hate, and I would wish it would be on there.
RJ.
I haven't seen it either. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but that sounds retarded.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay. So
I don't think my vote
count.
counts. Like, it does sound stupid, and I would put it on there at least in the top 7, but I haven't seen it, so
yeah.
I don't think my vote counts.
Superman 3.
With Superman 3, just like Richard Pryor, he relatively tried to do something in that movie.
Didn't work, but he tried.
It's not enough to save it. For me, it goes on the list. Like that movie.
All right, Superman 3 is our final movie in the top 7.
Thank God.
Henry, what was it? We'll give you a second. What was the film you wanted to talk about so badly that you hate so much?
Well, there's 2 that I want to throw out there just because I'm not necessarily a Superman fan as a character.
Okay.
So these are the only 2 I've seen of his character, but the original Superman and Man of Steel, they're just boring, and the ending of the original Superman just takes it away from me from the little bit of charisma and character that I liked from Christopher Reeve's Superman. I did like his Superman, but just that ending took it away, and it just made the boringness, whatever. And then Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor was good, but he didn't have enough to do. And then I don't like Man of Steel. It's boring. The opening scene on Krypton with all the action and everything, that's actually amazing, but after that it's just downhill for me, and the ending is so over the top and crazy, whereas it's Michael Bay movie and Zack Snyder, it's like I don't, it's all that combined, and it's not for me. But the movie I really want to talk about, I hate it so much, is Watchmen. I hate this movie.
Yeah, I knew it.
I hate this movie so much. I watched it once about a year and a half ago, and I only got 45 minutes in, and I was like, really? People think this is one of the best comic book movies of all time? I'm just not a fan. I couldn't even finish it. Then I forced myself to watch it a couple months ago, and I watched the Ultimate Edition, or whatever it's called, the 3-hour cut, and I was like, holy cow, like this is like pulling hairs and pulling teeth watching this and going through this. The worst, most awkward sex scene I've ever seen. You got Dr. Manhattan's ding dong everywhere. You could have covered that.
Big Blue Wang.
Yeah, you did.
Big Blue Wang.
Yeah, and then his backstory, there wasn't enough emotion to it. It seemed that was just so weird. And then, similar to what I was saying with the Batman Returns, the scene that I love, and this is probably one of my favorite scenes of all time, and I hate this movie, is when Rorschach's in the prison and there's like, I'm not in here, I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me.
Yeah,
and
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
And man, I got chills. Even just thinking about it, I got chills because I was like, man, that's scary. But yeah, the rest of the movie, dog crap. 3 hours. Yeah. It's not fun. There's not enough action that goes on. Jeff Dean Morgan's character is despicable, but not in a way that's like Negan in The Walking Dead where he's got charm and stuff. He's just there's no redeeming quality. And the fact that the story technically revolves around him and we're supposed to care about these characters coming together for him, it doesn't make any sense. And it's 100% accurate for the graphic novel and stuff, but I've never read it. And
no, it is not. That's a lie. It is not.
Then that's even more of a reason, because that's one of the main defenses I hear for it. Not a fan.
Yeah, it's like 90% accurate to the novel, but in doing that, it makes it anti-cinematic.
So boring.
Yeah, the graphic novel is not made for film, and it's 13 issues. I won't fault Zack Snyder for that one because nobody could have made that movie work.
You gotta be smart. You gotta go in not making a 13-issue movie. You either gotta set it up as a trilogy, you gotta set it up as a miniseries, you gotta set it up as even just a 2-parter. You gotta be smarter about it. The fact that
I think a miniseries would have been better suited for Watchmen, but
like an HBO series would have been perfect.
Yeah,
which I think they're doing.
Yeah, so I wish it was on there. I hate it so much, and it offends me that people think it's one of the best of all time. Let alone,
They're like not at all. All right, but so our top 7, we have Catwoman, Green Lantern, Steel, Suicide Squad, Jonah Hex, and Superman 3. My God, this list sucks.
Not great. Not great.
No, not great.
Nope.
We are going to pick 2 of these movies, say, you're not great, but you're not the worst. So, Henry, since we cut short of you get to pick one film to knock off the top 7 to make the top 5.
Can you run through the list one more time just so I can?
Yes, we have Catwoman, Green Lantern, Steel, Batman and Robin, Suicide Squad, Jonah Hex, or Superman 3.
I'm gonna go Suicide Squad just because it's got good actors, it's charismatic, it's garbage, but it's watchable. If you turn your brain off and you treat it like a Michael Bay movie or a Zack Snyder movie, then you can actually have some fun with it. And it's got enough going for it to where it's only 2 hours. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like it's a 3 hour.
Watch the extended cut, which 2.5.
I refuse. Like it's a separate disc. I'll throw that away. So yeah, I'll vote for that one to stay off. Not because it's great, just in comparison to the others, there's a little bit of redeeming qualities.
Let the record show Zack Snyder did not direct Suicide Squad. That was actually David Ayer.
I know. No, I'm saying it.
Directed it.
I'm just saying it's not like a Zack Snyder movie.
I understand what you're saying. But yeah, it's just to avoid YouTube comments. All right, we'll go to Alex first. Alex, should Suicide Squad be kicked out of the top 7?
Actually, yes, it should be out of the top 7. There's enough in the movie that they do in portraying the characters. Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, El Diablo.
Diablo's great, actually.
Yeah, they're well done. And in the first 3, they're very accurate to the modern version of the characters we got in the DC Rebirth comics. So ultimately, I don't think it gets as bad. It gets too much of a bad rap for what it's trying to do. There are flaws in the film, but there is enough good in there that it's not in the bottom 5.
Plus, Amanda Waller is
yeah, there's Amanda Waller.
She's awesome.
All right, RJ, with Suicide Squad, I think I know what you. Is Suicide Squad gonna get kicked out of the top 5?
Yeah, it's not gonna make the top 5. Like, regardless of how people feel about it, you can't deny the success it still had. I believe it actually even did better than BVS.
I doubt that, but
no, but it was
actually.
It was close though. It
maybe better than Man of Steel.
Yeah, it did better than Man of Steel.
Not better than BVS.
Yeah, and then like I said earlier, just knowing about what it could have been, and then just Warner Brothers stepping in and effing it up because of what happened with BBS. I can't fault the movie for that, knowing that someone back behind the scenes effed up. Like,
yeah, I won't fault David Ayer for that movie just because it was a studio movie. They meddled with it.
We will fault David Ayer. Though for fuck Marvel. Like that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for.
For that. Especially because Doctor Strange came out like 2 months later and was like, how about that?
Yeah.
Mark, what would you say?
Superbrath would say that was a bad call saying that. And Superbrath's one of the biggest DCU fans I know.
Well, Suicide Squad does not make top fives. Mark, what would you have said?
I would have taken it off the list also, just because there was some bad stuff, but especially like that dance, like I mentioned. But there were some good redeeming qualities with the acting. Some of the characters were okay.
This is Katana.
It's not the worst at all.
This is Katana.
She's got my back.
We would not have that line except for that movie.
That's a great meme.
All right. So yeah, Suicide Squad, you're lucky. You did not make the top 5 worst. All right. So now, Alex, now you get to pick a film to get to nominate to kick off the top 7 and therefore not make the top 5.
I'm going back to Batman and Robin. Honestly, like I said, if you treat this movie like Joel Schumacher wanted to make a big screen version and a remake of the 1966 series starring Adam West, you treat it as campy, you treat it as fun, summer entertainment, quippy lines, decent action, a really fun villain in Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze and Uma Thurman's Poison Ivy. It's good. It's good to just sit down, shut your brain off, and just laugh at it.
Hey, Alex, I got one question for you. What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age!
That was an ice recall there.
That didn't even make any sense.
Everybody.
All right, let's go to Renee. Oh, Mark, you voted in count last time, so we'll go to you first.
I have to disagree, just for the reasons that Alex named. Batman Forever is that movie for me. I get entertained watching Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey the same way you guys do with Mr. Freeze. I just can't. For me, just like Batman and Robin is just up there for one of the worst DC movies that I've ever seen.
All right, so Mark says to stay on the top 5. Let's go to Henry.
I'm going to agree with Alex. It's fun. Honestly, the only real bad thing that's not redeemable is the Bane concept and character. But other than that, there's some redeemable quality. Even if you look at it from a different point of view, it's redeemable in some way. Other than Bane, I think there's some fun you can have with most of the movie. And it's not even that long, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So.
I remember Bane like a Sasquatch on chemo. Batman Forever make the top 5.
You mean Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Calm down, Superman.
So here's my conflict right now. My top 5 is almost the top 5 we put together. Batman and Robin is on that top 5. But the way y'all explained Superman 3, hello, Doug. The way y'all explained Superman 3, I think it deserves to be on there more so. So even though I haven't seen it, I think Batman and Robin should be off, because from what y'all made it sound, I think Superman 3 deserves to be in the top 5.
All right, so Batman and Robin, for once, not making a worse list. It is off.
We're different, guys.
I think I would have agreed, because out of all these movies, the only one I'd consider watching again is Robin. So I think I would put it in the top 5 worst.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I went for. Like,
Cheers.
We have our top 5. We have Catwoman, Green Lantern, Steel, Jonah Hex, and Superman 3. All right, so what we're gonna do now? You guys all have your whiteboards ready, right?
Yeah.
yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're each going to vote. I'm going to say a spot on the list. We're each going to write down what movie we think should go in that spot.
Fair enough.
Majority rule wins. If it's split, the person in the middle will have to change their answer. Down what movie you think should be number 5 on the list.
And of course, we're doing this to where number 1 is the absolute worst, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, number 1 is the name of the absolute worst. Just whenever anyone's ready.
Yep, I'm good.
I'm
All
good.
right, I will go first. I said Jonah Hex. We'll go to Mark.
Superman 3.
Superman 3. Henry.
This is going to be interesting. Green Lantern.
Oh, God.
Martin Campbell and Ryan Reynolds, redeemable enough.
All right. Renee.
Just because it's the only one I haven't seen, I said Superman 3.
Oh, so Superman 3 has 2 votes. Alex, what do you say?
Superman 3 has a third vote.
So Superman 3 is the number 5 on the list.
I was nervous for a second that we were going to have 5 different ones and we had to figure it out.
All right, so now pick what you think should be number 4 on the list.
Ooh, this is hard.
I shouldn't have erased my answer with my ripped sock that I can't find my eraser, so I'm using a sock. It's never mind. I was gonna make a dirty joke there. Don't worry about it. Alex is.
I'm sorry, I've been doing this wrong.
Alex is on the same page with his background plants. No wonder you like Batman and Robin. You're Poison Ivy's boyfriend over there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 5. All right, so Alex.
I'm going to go with Jonah Hex.
Renee.
Sorry, still my favorite superhero, so I went Green Lantern.
All right. Henry.
Since I've only seen it the one time, and I know I hate it initially, but because I haven't seen it enough to think it's that bad, I'm going to go a little lower, so Green Lantern again.
Mark?
Give a little bit of credit.
I'm going to go with Jonah Hex just because
Comes down to me.
Now you have to pick between the two.
I did pick one of these films, and I said Green Lantern.
Ooh. Went from Jonah Hex to Green Lantern. I like it.
So Green Lantern is the number 4. All right, so now everybody write down what you think should be the number 3 movie on the list.
Yeah, just, it's kind of by default at this point in comparison to the other two.
I think so, but we'll play it out.
Pretty much.
I'll buy everybody a shot if all 5 of us don't have the same movie. And don't erase it to be a dick.
4. All right. Start. I said Jonah Hex. Mark.
Of course, since it didn't make my number 4, it's making my number 3. Jonah Hex.
Who's Joan Hex?
Oh, I'm sorry, Henry.
That said Joan Hex.
Yes.
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex. And
my favorite.
Jonah Hex.
Alex. Jonah Hex makes the number 3 spot. All right, so now instead of vote for number 2, we're each going to vote for number 1.
So his spelling reflects that.
Yeah.
Is it Steel or is it Catwoman?
So we're voting on number 2 right now, or should we just vote for number 1?
No,
just vote for number 1.
Okay, vote for number 1.
When everyone's ready.
If you guys have seen me on Full Metal Trivia, you have an idea of where I'm going with this.
I feel like I know where you're going. All right, Alex.
I am going with Catwoman as the worst DC movie.
Catwoman. RJ.
The fact that it was made in the 90s saved Steel just barely. I also went Catwoman.
Henry.
Fuck you, Watchmen. Let's change this up. We can bring it back. No, I'm just kidding. Catwoman.
Catwoman. All right, so I was going, but what do you got?
Catwoman.
Said Catwoman. So Catwoman, congratulations. You get the number 1 spot on our list.
Who didn't see that coming?
Halle Berry.
Just to recap, our list was scientific science. Superman 3, number 4, Green Lantern, number 3, Jonah Hex, number 2, Steel, and the number 1 worst DC movie of all time, Catwoman. What a pile of crap.
Yup.
Take it.
All right.
They tried way too hard to make Halle Berry a superhero without being an X-Men. That just didn't work.
You know what would have been a fun format for this, given how much banter we had between, is doing this like tournament style and had to put them up 1 by 1 at a time and meet in the middle for the worst, because we would have had a lot of arguments back and forth.
Oh yeah.
For later. Mike is there for later. But as for right now, that is the end. That is the end of Full Metal 5. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. I'm sure you all are watching along. How many people got watching, Mark?
Right now it's just 5, and on the actual YouTube channel we have 5.
Yeah.
Is it us
Okay,
5?
Cool.
No.
Is it? No, I'm not
There's
watching
Caleb. There's Brooklyn. There's Nico. I've seen.
Howdy, y'all.
I'm in there as well, but just to see a
yeah.
comments.
Well, shout out to you guys. Thanks for watching.
Shout
What do
out
you
to
guys
Alex.
think? If you want to see us, we're gonna keep doing this more. Friday, we already celebrate the worst DC. Friday, we're gonna be celebrating the best of DC with the top 5 best DC movies. Fun discussion. We don't have to talk about all this crap. From all my crew here, Full Metal Trivia, we want to say thank you for joining us. A lot more of this hopefully coming down the road. From Alex, Renee, Mark, and our special guest, Henry. And goodbye.